Okay, so this is the fifth video of exercise 14 on page 181. Okay, at this point we were discussing number 5. We're doing number 5. So coming back to the question says, at what time did the ball reach its maximum height? Okay, so maximum height will be reached at the first derivative equal to 0. And what was the maximum height? So the height, of course, will be at 2,95. So what we do is we substitute that into the original formula. And the formula denotes height. So that would give us now, let's put this down a bit. That would give us negative 5 into 2,95 squared plus 59 over 2 into 2,95 plus 3. Okay? So that is 2,95. That's your last answer calculated. So it's negative 5 answer squared. Negative 5 answer squared plus 59 over 2 answer plus 3. That's going to give us 46,51 meters. Okay. So that would be his maximum height. Let's look at number 6. When will the ball hit the ground? Okay. So the ball will hit the ground if the height from the ground is 0. So it's basically where h of t is equal to 0. Okay. So it's negative 5t squared plus 59 over t, no, 59 over 2t plus 3 equals 0. Okay, you can plug that into your quadratic formula. So it would be negative 5, 59 over 2, and 3 gives us, after 6 seconds, and after negative 1 over 10 seconds. Now, can time be negative? Of course not. So it's after 6 seconds. Okay. Number 6. Number 7. For number 7, the question is, what is the speed of the ball at the moment it hits the ground? So you know the speed is velocity. So we're going to then work out h dash of 6. We have worked out that formula out already to be negative 10t plus 59 over 2. So 6 is then going to give us negative 60 plus 59 over 2. So it's going to be 30,5 meters per second. So why is it negative? Because it's in the downward direction. Okay, because it's dropping. So therefore the speed would be at 30,5 meters per second in the dropping direction. Alright. Okay, if I had made a mistake in my explanation, you can contact me on that number. Otherwise, these videos are free. Or if there's an easier way of explaining something, you can contact me on that number. So let's look at number 6. Just to rule some lines. Right, so now we're looking at question 6. We are told that f of x equals x cubed plus ax squared plus bx has a stationary point at 2 and 32. Determine the values of a and b. Okay, so there's a stationary point, which is a turning point. Okay. So in other words, if I had to draw this, that stationary point could happen there or there. So that is at 2 and 32. Well, I didn't make that graph go the other way around because A is positive. Okay. So which means to say, at this point, if I at that point, x is 2, y is 32. Which means to say, if I substitute x into here, I'll get the y out. Okay, so in other words, we'll substitute 2 and 32 into f of x. Okay, so you have 32 equals 2 cubed plus a times 2 squared plus b times 2. Okay, which then in turn gives us 8. 32 minus 8 is 24. Okay, equals 4a plus 2b. Make b the subject of the formula. And divide by 2. Get negative 2a plus 12. That's equation 1. Alright. Then we said for the turning point or the stationary point, we know that at its stationary point f of prime of 2 is equal to 0. So this is a turning point. So what we do is we apply our derivative. So f prime x is equal to 3x squared plus 2ax plus b. Okay. So f prime of 2 is equal to 0. So it's going to be 3 times 2 squared plus 2a times 2 plus b is equal to 0. Drop that. So b is equal to negative 4a minus 4 is 12. That's equation 2. So what I do now is I set the two equations equal to each other to solve for b. So we set equation 1 equal to equation 2. So it's going to be negative 2a plus 12 is equal to negative 4a minus 12. Take it over, becomes 2a is equal to negative 24. So a is equal to negative 12. So what we do is we substitute that back into one of the two previous equations. So b is equal to negative 2 times negative 12, which is positive 24 plus 12, which is 36. So b is 12 and a is negative 12. So b is 36, sorry, and a is negative 12. Okay, so now we're looking at question 7. In question 7, we are told that in the diagram alongside f of x, let me just write it here, f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay. And g of x is k. Okay, which is this line going through. So in other words, here you can easily see that k is 2. Why? Because it's parallel to x-axis. Then we are told that ts is parallel to QR, which is parallel to the y-axis. Then RS is parallel to QT, which is parallel to the x-axis, I'm sure. Yeah. And TS intersect x at P. TS intersect x at P. Determine the values of A, B, C, and K. Okay, I just told you what K is. So K is going to be, let's just list that. K is simply 2. Okay, so that can be replaced with 2. Now, in pursuit of calculating A, B, and C, you see we got the turning point here. And we have another point that's on this graph. Okay, so your C value is negative 8. Okay, it is not going to have a p value. Why? Because the equation is turning on this y-axis. Say we didn't know that. Okay, say we didn't know it's turning on the y-axis, and that comes into play. Because at this point we already know that it's going to be ax squared minus 8. As we see, there's no b. But as I said, we can assume we didn't know that. So we say, okay, here's two x-intercepts. So how do we calculate x? When we have two x-intercepts, you follow the formula. Y is equal to a into x. Y is equal to a into x minus x1 and x minus x2. Okay, those are your two x-intercepts. x1, x2 are your x-intercepts. Okay, so then you'll say y is equal to a into x minus 4 becomes plus 4 and x minus 4. So in other words, I still need to solve for a. So now at this point I'll substitute a point that lies in this graph, which is 0 and negative 8. Okay, so we got negative 8 is equal to a into 0 plus 4, 0 minus 4, which gives you negative 16a. Negative 8. So a is equal to half. So there's your a value. Alright, so if we sub it back, so y is equal to half into x plus 4, x minus 4. Okay, multiply that story out. I get half into x squared minus 16. So I get half x squared minus 8. And this is your f of x graph, of course. Okay. So therefore, what's your a value? Half. Your b value, of course, is 0. And your c value is going to be negative 8. Okay. So we need that equation, I'm sure. Alright. Let's look at question 2. In question 2, we are told, okay, let's see to the next video.